Welcome back to the Book Reading Bitch Queens podcast. I'm Allie.
And I'm Sam. This week we're doing chapter 22. We have the aftermath of Calanmai. We have the next morning, our little walk of shame / not walk of shame moment. 22 is kind of a bunch of little vignette kind of moments where we get some relationship building between Tamlin and Feyre. We get the moment when she brings him into the her painting room, so he gets to see her wonderful paintings, and he chooses a painting for himself. Yeah,
So,
what do you got?
I did think it was interesting that she said that after Calanmai she felt empty and aching. Like,
oh, because she's horny.
okay,
Yeah.
so that's all she.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what she meant.
Yeah.
I
She needs
was
to
wondering
be
if it was like a
full.
magical thing, or
No.
yeah, it's just straight horny.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. She's missing Isaac. My theory. She's missing Isaac, and Tamlin's there.
Yeah, okay.
I
So
mean, she's clearly missing
explains
Isaac. She has a painting of her and Isaac in the throes, so like
I had forgotten that until this chapter.
yeah,
I was like,
girl is missing some D. I did underline it though because I was like, you horny bitch.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting that she's trying to forget the feel of his lips. I guess she means that in also a horny way, like.
Yeah. Okay, so she's super horny. It's where we're
Yep.
at.
I do love, she's trying to not be horny, but the pain just reminds her a bruise.
Yeah, right. She's like trying not to think about him touching her, even though he bit the shit out of her, but okay.
Also, what did you okay, this also, like, it said, sniffing, I opened the collar of my tunic further and tucked. Is that like crying, or is that like, I don't understand that action.
No, I think she's like
oh, like okay. I thought she was like,
because like at first she was trying to cover it up, and then she's like, fuck that, if he's gonna be an ass, then he can see what he did. So
okay.
Yeah,
because that's like, the vibes I got, but I was like,
yeah.
I don't understand. A sniff seems like crying to me.
Yeah. I will say that this chapter didn't. Was it this one? There's a moment in here where I'm like, you just said something and then completely said it didn't do that thing. So okay, it's next chapter. These two chapters don't feel as well written as the previous chapters.
They kind of have some cringy moments in them.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not rushed. I don't think it's rushed, but I think because it's kind of like it's broken up into so many different kind of things. I think it's a faster pace, so they just don't feel as saturated, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's bad writing, but I think they just don't feel as saturated as, like, the last few chapters.
You had to have a scene to establish that they were getting cozy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what this is doing.
Which is also interesting that I feel like the romantic scenes are less saturated and a little bit rushed.
Yeah.
Like,
that's, you would think
that's telling.
It's the whole thing, but
yeah. But I do remember kind of also falling for Tamlin in these chapters.
Yeah,
when I first read it.
You totally do.
But looking back, I'm like, yeah, you got some cringe moments, Tammy boy. You got some cringy moments.
Yeah, when you see through it, you're like, oh. But and maybe he's rushing it. Maybe that's why it feels rushed.
Or a little fabricated. Maybe that's what it is. These chapters feel fabricated.
Which is funny, because usually that would be bad, but it actually fits the story better.
And so that might be actually, like, brilliant writing, that like the chapters feel a little bit diluted and fabricated because you're supposed to realize after the fact that their relationship is diluted and fabricated. So like maybe my initial feeling of being like, these don't feel as great, that's could be the point. Yeah, which is literary genius. So again, I'm not just trying. I'm trying to cover my ass to, like, be critical of SJM, but also not be like,
we're not haters, but we're not haters. I'm just kidding.
We're looking at it with a critical eye. It's not hate, or I mean, it's coming from a lot of love, to be very honest.
Do you think it's interesting that she's confident because of this? Like, I was like, why?
I mean, she just found out that the hot guy likes her, so of course
Okay,
she's
so
gonna have
that's all
yeah,
it is.
like, the guy that she's like, "He's really fucking hot. This is stupid." Like, he's immortal, he's a High Lord, and okay, weird. And then he, like, shows that he might be interested in you because some feral, predatory, prehistoric level of his genetic code smelled her on Calanmai. Uh
Yeah.
But, yes, I
Okay,
think
that's
there's a
fair.
little bit of confidence because she's like, "Alright, this guy does want me." Like, I'd have a little pep in my step if High Lord wanted me, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense too. Because so the line like I was beyond cowering. I was like,
Does he know that she went out? It's implied because he says, "I smelled you, and it
yeah,
drove me nuts, and it made me choose somebody else." So I'm assuming he knows that she, like, went out. But when it
yeah,
says, like, he's furious at my foolishness for leaving my room
yeah.
just to be in the hallway that night, and, like, when he's like, "She has a death wish." She have a death wish because you know she went out, or does she have a death wish because you're talking about her running into you?
I assumed. Okay, I actually wonder if they had like made maybe like put something on the room specifically, so if she stayed in there, no one would know she's there, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Maybe that's like he smelled her because she was in the hallway. But I feel like that's kind of weird. But
No, he smelt her out in the place when he was supposed to like, when he was walking
yeah,
through the maidens, he smelt her.
I think so. But I think initially I just thought that he was
But
coming
how
back anyway, and then
yeah, but how
yeah,
weird would it be if he didn't know that she was out? If he just thought she was walking around the house and bumped into him, like, in his, like,
yeah,
half drunk, kinda hungover stupor of horny Calamni. If he doesn't know she was out, and he's, like,
yeah.
super mad that she left her room and walked around the mansion, and then was like, "You have a death wish." Just running into you, Tamlin? She has a death wish? Or are we under the assumption that because he smelled her outside that he knows that she, like, went to Calamni?
Yeah, it must be that. Yeah, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I wish she had said things like furious at my foolishness for leaving my room. Instead of saying that, if she had said furious at my foolishness for going to the thing, then it would be very clear. Um, but I also think that leaving my room is like the tightest command, and that's of course the one
Yeah.
that Tamlin would
Yeah.
give her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very Tamlin to like put a spell on her room so that she would be fully protected in there, but then not tell her that because he expects total obedience, and so he's like,
Yeah, he's like, "I'm not gonna put a spell on it to confine you because you should know to just stay in your room."
yeah,
Lucien and I both told you.
it's, but also confining someone to their room for like a night, like I don't know, it just seems like, ugh.
She's grounded.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
feels very parent-child
hate
relationship,
it.
yeah. If Feyre can't be bothered to listen to orders, I can't be held accountable for the consequences.
Ugh.
Okay.
It's so parent.
So,
It's
okay,
so
okay.
toxic boyfriend. It's so gross.
Just to try to be kind to Tamlin for a minute. He is a High Lord. He is in a political leadership position where he literally has to give orders, right? He
Uh-huh.
has essentially an army of some sort. He has men, he has people that he actually has to give orders to. So there's a
Yeah.
part of this that could be less gross because he's just default like, "You're in my household. I'm the High Lord." But it becomes gross when you add a romantic element to that,
Mm-hmm.
and you continue, and so then that becomes a new conversation of having, like, the, like, power dynamics of workplace relationships. Right? Or, like, these
Yep.
power dynamics of, like, because they talk about people are really critical of Feyre and Rhys being, like, the age gap difference, and, like,
Mm.
he has all this power and blah, and, like, yes, that those are also problems, but we're seeing it play out very differently with Tamlin than it does with Rhys. When Rhys can, what we know of the books now, Rhys does what he can to have Feyre stand beside him, with
Yeah.
him, rule with him.
Yeah.
He gives her a title, for better, for worse, for whatever is about to come, fine. But he gives her the title, and she has equal part ownership in the responsibility politically of the Night Court.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tamlin does not do that. He
Yeah.
thinks it's actually fucking absurd. He's like, a high lady. Those two, lady and high in the same sentence. That's fucking weird. Like, he's completely dismissive of it even being a possibility. Which
Yeah.
again, product of your culture, fine.
Yeah.
But it's just different that, like, Tamlin, even if we're under the assumption that, like, giving orders is part of his job, it's part of his role, it's what he's expected to do, yes, fine. But it
Mhm.
becomes problematic and kind of gross when you add romance to that, because
Yeah.
then you have that, like, weird power struggle of, like, dating your boss, or, like, you know, the outranking system, the power dynamics that are involved in certain relationships that we've talked about over the last, Me Too
Mhm.
movement years, of what that causes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's why this feels gross. There is a physical encounter that is upfront, at least dubious consent, right? It's not
Mhm.
non-consent, right? But it's not, she didn't say, yes, please bite me, right? So
Yeah.
at the very least, dubious consent, which is question, right? Some people are into that shit. Okay. I think that it's problematic. We are in Feyre's head. We know that she was like kind of in, like, she doesn't think of it as a sex. Huh. I don't know. She says it's like a wolf with a rabbit. Like, there's some questionable things,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so yes. So like at the very least his bite is dubious consent, I think is a good that's a good word for it. And she, she liked it, and but it was still a surprise.
Yes.
But like either way, he's framing what he did and his choice to bite her
As a consequence.
as a consequence and as a way to free himself. And I'm like, okay, so you're just
Yeah,
like,
it's
if you don't listen to me, I can do anything I want to you, is the implications. And
yeah.
or disobedience means you don't have rights or you
Yeah.
don't have yeah.
And the consequence for this particular action is a sexual physical encounter of some sort.
That he chose to do. He did not need to do that.
Sex, or something that lives in the realm of physical sexual energy,
Hmm.
is also in the same bracket or category as consequences.
Yeah.
That's a fucking problem.
Yeah. It's really
You
problematic.
can't listen to what I say, favorites. And here's the thing, don't get me wrong. There are dark romances all over the fucking place, all over book talk, where it's like, dubious con and non consent are a thing in the books. I get it. I don't. I think it's gross. But I know that it's a thing that people are into. I know it's the thing that people read. I know that whatever. That's not what this is supposed to be doing in my mind. But yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah. And to be fair, she does call it out and she's like, accountable, you do this. Like, so she, I at least like that she bites back. Um, and yeah.
Yeah, but now she's, yeah, I don't know. It's, this whole scene ends with her being happy that he's home. Blech.
Yeah. And I think that the whole thing is meant to seem much more light because, Lucien propped an arm on the table and covered his mouth. Like, that's meant to be like this, like, let's see what's going on,
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
but it is kind of weird to have that when you're like talking about something like, I don't know.
I mean, and
Yeah.
and people flirt and court in very strange ways, right?
Yeah.
But digging into it, having hindsight of the rest of the books, this moment seems less romantic.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
at the same time, right, we're gonna get to essentially a very similar interaction between Rowan and Aelin. Rowan and Aelin are training, and he's getting pissed off at her, and he pushes her against a tree, and he bites her, and she's like, "What the fuck? Back up!" Like a whole thing, right? So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, we might be having that same. I am not ready to not. I'm not ready to be highly critical of Rowan, but it's gonna happen. Also, this chapter is very. I think that this is very, very Throne of Glass whistleblowy. This whole fucking chapter.
Okay.
I think this biting situation, I think this, like, weird back and forth, like, you can be a high lord, but you can also go fuck yourself. That, like, energy that they're, like, kind of having right now, that is not necessarily the same energy they've been having. And then this dress situation that we've got in a minute. So whistleblowing Aelin.
Really?
It's a metallic gold dress with
Oh,
turquoise gauze over it.
I didn't realize that.
First off, she's wearing metallic
Oh yeah, that metallic
gold,
gold nightgown is the one Rowan liked.
which, like, I would never be so ostentatious as to wear some, right? Like, okay. And there's turquoise gauze over it where she's like, you can still see the gold peek through. She's literally dressed as Aelin's eyes. She's a fucking Galthinius eyeball right now.
That's funny. I did not put that together. Sometimes I pay attention to colors and sometimes I'm just like, oh, this could be a black dress. I actually thought it was purple for some reason. I think I'm picturing a later dress.
She has purple dress later on.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Okay, I did not think of it as now fairy pig and stuff like that. That kind of rings as Aelin, but I didn't think of Aelin specifically. But I could totally see what you mean there. Yeah, I do. I do think it's like it's like a little fight scene, and it ends like the sight of Tamlin's growing smile, I left. Like now we're joking around, so we've broken the ice. I guess that's what it's meant to be. But yeah, I hate lines like this, and it made me ... happy. Come on, just cut that. But whatever.
I do think it's cute that he gives her white roses, but I feel like we need to actually hold on. White roses is not what you give to someone you love. White roses is what you deliver to somebody for death. White roses are the symbol of death and funerals.
Not like friendship or something?
No, that's yellow. Yellow and pink.
Oh, okay.
And
white
red
roses mean
is love.
Death.
White roses mean death. He said, die, bitch.
That is so funny. I mean, I'm sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That means Tamlin's parents, Tamlin's dad got her mom death roses for their mating present.
Well, he does sound like a cunt, so yes.
Yeah. I do also think she wearing a dress, not that as an apology, but it does seem like, I don't know. I guess she's just trying to take the next step.
She's trying to be cute, right?
Yeah. Even though, I guess, does she actually like dresses? She hasn't worn them, and she doesn't know really that she likes dresses, or does she? I feel like she doesn't actually like them. I think Aelin likes them.
This is a safety moment, because the reason why she chooses not to wear a dress is because she can't kill and run away in a dress.
Yes, but then I'm like, I don't know.
She's feeling safe enough to not only wear a dress, but also to expose all of her vulnerabilities through her art.
True.
I think that's what we're seeing is this is a moment where she feels safe. Yeah. So white roses can also be purity or innocence or new beginnings, which also is kind of gross for this moment.
Maybe a new beginning. You say, okay, sorry, we'll start over.
Or maybe it can't be red because that's Amarantha's color.
Yeah. Or maybe that's just the only one they had there. Yeah, white goes much better with spring. I guess pink roses could have been. When I'm just thinking about the spring color palette, it'd feel like white and green and pink and red. Okay, the next thing I have is Alice's little story, and I just but did you have anything before that?
No, I have metallic lace in the dress situation, and I wrote so Aelin, and then
so funny.
So I don't have a lot from Alice's story, but I underlined something that was questionable. So I want to hear your Alice stuff first.
No, I didn't really have anything. I just I really want to know a lot. Alice feels like she has so much that we might find out. I don't know. She just seems so interesting, and the way this dialogue goes is very heavy-handed. She says, no, we're originally from the summer court. That's where my kin still dwells. She says, how'd you wind up here? Alice met my eyes in the mirror, her lips a tight line. So she's holding back from saying something, or she's being careful, or maybe the curse, maybe the fucking whatever the thing that keeps her from saying what it is holding her back a little bit. Mm-hmm. But she says, I made a choice to come here and my kin thought me mad, but my sister and her mate had been killed, and for her boys, I came here to do what I could. So, I mean, I assume it's just I came here to make money, but is that because Tamlin's court is the only court that is still functioning, and that's why she thought it'd be safe?
I think that's what we're supposed to think.
Does she have some kind of power?
I think that we're supposed to think she came here to earn a living, and this is the highest paying court or the most functioning court, so that she can help the boys back home.
Okay.
I think I made a choice to come here. I made a choice to come to the spring court, even though the woman who is fucking everything up wants the High Lord of the spring court. So I made a choice to come here to a dangerous court, and my family thought I was nuts. Yeah, you should keep your ass in the summer court, crazy. Why would you go to and work for the guy who literally is being hunted by the chick that just killed a bajillion that theoretically killed her sister and his mate, right?
Yeah.
Her mate. So.
Oh, because she wouldn't have gotten taken under the mountain, right? Because she's a lesser fae.
Exactly.
Okay, I was thinking like, oh, she's trying to go somewhere where she won't get captured, but she probably wouldn't have been captured.
Yeah, no. So, and she says that, right? They didn't want, like, we were lesser fae. We're not
That's
worthy of being under the mountain. So I made a choice to come here, which we don't know when. So, like, she has the mask on. So
she had to be.
went there before.
Oh.
Amarantha pulled her bullshit. So why was she going there, right? She's like,
and why do people think she was mad if she was just going to spring court normally?
And my sister and her maid had been killed. So were they attacked and then she came to spring court knowing that like that would be crazy, right? So
okay.
So Amarantha is on her bullshit with Tamlin, right? She's fucking up all the other courts. And they know that she's going to come for Tamlin. And so then Alice goes to spring court. Her family would be like, what are you doing? She just barreled through our fucking court and killed everybody. And now you're going to go to the court where she's going to go next and fuck things up. And she does, right? With the masks and the curse and all the things. But my sister and her maid had been killed. And for her boys, she stops talking. I came here to do what I could.
That's the whatever, the curse stopping her from telling you anything.
Well, or what she's there to do is not just to earn money to send back to the boys, but she's there to try to help get rid of Amarantha.
Yeah. But also that makes me think, like, what does she think that she can do? Is she just there to do Tamlin's laundry so he can fight Amarantha good? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's why
she has, like, powers or something.
That's why Alice is so interesting.
Yeah. And she's meant to be like the Mrs. Potts character?
Yeah.
Does Mrs. Potts do anything significant that besides just like being a little friend?
She sings the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like we might see more about Alice because of the way that she says this, the way that, like, I don't know.
She's also the only one who knows what Feyre does. I think book 3, right? When Feyre comes to fuck up the.
That's just because she's good at reading people. Although maybe
she is.
Does she have some other power?
And she's like, do what you got to do, baby girl. I'm a dip with my boys. And she leaves before all of the nonsense, right? I'm pretty sure goes back to summer court with her boys.
Well, and how is she hiding the boys well enough? Is it literally just because people don't care about lesser fae, they just leave them alone? I thought they were still oppressed. So, like, does she have some magic that is able to hide them more effectively than other fae? Like, that's where I'm like, she's outskirting Amarantha's magic and keeping her boys safe?
Well, remember, the summer court also has strict hierarchies. Because remember, when Feyre goes to the summer court,
yes,
like, Tarquin is talking about, like, trying to integrate, and he doesn't like this, like, high fae, lesser fae language because of the dynamics, and he wants to break that down. And so it might be safer for her boys in summer court, where there is that prejudice of lesser fae, and because Amarantha, it doesn't think that they're worthy of being under the mountain. So if they stay in a place where they're oppressed, and that sort of label on them also sort of, right, yes, it keeps them oppressed, but also keeps them from going under the mountain.
Okay. But yeah, I just had so many. I was just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, Alice is a character that I would love to know more about.
I would love if she had, like, a secret power she's been using the whole time, or if she has, like, because we don't know anything. We just know she has skin that's like wood, like bark. So maybe she has some kind of nature power. Like, maybe her powers are useful in the spring court specifically because they're related to like. So many things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, every character in the courts don't have to be representative of that court, but it's interesting for a summer court fae to have, like, something that seems, I don't know, like because summer court is beachy, right? Yeah, and so you don't think of trees and bark with beachy.
That's
right? You think
true.
And so it's interesting that she has, like, I would think autumn or spring. But I'm also okay with not, like, completely, like, chaining off, I guess, race with court.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that, but you would think that, like, naturally people would go to the places where they feel most at home, and maybe, but, hold on, let's see. Yeah, because I think she's described with, like, skin made from tree bark. Yeah. I mean, and it's not like all summer court is beachy, so, but, I forgot what.
But that's kind of the image we get when we see what we get a glimpse of is,
Yeah.
But
like then I'm like, okay, like so far, actually, chapter 23 has this all this stuff, and I'm like, we don't. Is this the spring court thing? Is this do trees talk? And like, if Alice has skin like tree bark, is she like kind of like a tree wraith or a tree nymph, or is she? Could she speak to that woman singing in the willow singing? And I'm like,
yeah, there's a lot of I feel like we get just enough of Alice to move the plot, and I kind of want Alice's plot.
Yeah, because or just make her less interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you made her so interesting.
Fair.
But I'm like, come on, there's got to be something. Like, I don't know. But I really like Alice.
I absolutely love Lucien in this next scene. So she walks in the dress, and both of them at the same time immediately stop talking and stare at her, and their eyes are like bugging out of their head because she looks like a girl. And Lucien goes, "Well, I'm late for something incredibly important," and just leaves.
Yep.
Love the wingman but failed wingman vibe right now. He's just like, "Well, I got somewhere to be. That was fun." Just dips. Yes. It's very obvious and very cute, and I love it.
Yeah, it feels very sitcom.
Yeah.
You're so far away.
Yeah.
What a baby girl line.
I can't remember where this is, but I think this comes up again, where when she asks him how he does that, and he said between. Think of it as a broom closet tucked between pockets of the world. Now, I can't remember what other book talks about. I mean, the winnowing is the same thing. Where it's like you fold a piece of paper and jump and do the thing.
And they say pockets of the world when they talk about winnowing.
Yes, but I also think that they describe that disappearing stuff that you kind of put it into this pocket, this broom closet. Interesting enough, because I was like, this reminds me of Crescent City. I opened up Crescent City, and in the very first chapter of Crescent City, when Dannika comes to the museum,
he's in a broom closet.
She puts all of her shit in the broom closet.
That's so funny.
She puts her sword in the broom closet. The sword that Bryce does not return to her mother.
Dude, that is funny. It's probably the only broom closet in the whole multiverse. But okay. Okay, so I think we did discuss everything, about the winnowing broom closet situation. Yeah. My next note just says Tamlin smooth boy now.
Okay, I have a theory.
Oh? About his smooth boy?
I don't know about his smooth boy.
Oh, okay. About his smooth boy.
Oh, yeah. When he's like, "You're so beautiful. You really are." Okay, no. I'm on the next page. Yeah. Fuck that. Okay.
Yeah, I just he's trying to be a smooth talker.
So she says, "Thank you," I said, and was grateful to avoid saying anything else as he served me and then himself. This is the second time now that he has served her food. And we know.
Oh, he's trying to kick a mate bond in place?
He's trying to kick a mate bond.
Wait, but the female has to serve.
Exactly.
Oh, does he not know that? Or
I don't know if he doesn't know that, but what I think we're supposed to be getting here is that it's not the mate because he's serving her.
Just by nature of the reversal, it's the opposite of a mate bond.
Yes. Yes.
That is so funny.
Because Aelin works in the kitchen and she gives Rowan food.
Oh my god, I didn't think about
Bryce cooks a fucked up meal. I mean, here's the thing. Hunt always cooks for Bryce, right? And then at some point, I can't remember why, but she was like, "I'm making you dinner." And he was like, "This dinner is such a shit show, but I'm gonna eat it." And then very soon after, they agree to be mates or whatever. And so never.
I feel like an idiot for not clocking that. Holy shit.
But never once do we see Feyre ever offer Tamlin food.
Wow.
Granted, bitch can't cook soup, but
hey, she reheated it effectively.
Yeah, but she doesn't offer him food, she doesn't offer him wine, she doesn't put anything on his plate, nothing, never, nada.
That I love the reversal of because I'm always looking for that opposite.
Also on our Lucien theory, right? Tamlin hadn't been called to the border for a few days, hadn't come back wary and covered in blood since Fire Night, which, like, you know, was what, a couple nights ago, but still, like, things are calming down a little bit for Tammy Boy now that maybe they're not going with Hybern.
Yeah. Where does it say that?
On page 203, after she says thank you and he serves her, says Tamlin leaned back in his chair, yet his shoulders were tight, his mouth a thin line. He hadn't been called to the border in a few days, hadn't come home weary and covered in blood.
That's funny. Yeah, although the covered in blood thing must be just hunting monsters, but maybe just both a little of both. Yeah. Oh, is this okay, we're gonna go back. Okay, top of 203. First of all, though his bruise still marred my neck, I had looked pretty, feminine. I wouldn't go so far as to call myself a beauty, but I had cringed. I hadn't cringed. But I'm just like, okay, to me, first of all, I hate when people say, oh, you look beautiful and feminine. Like, there's something that irks me when people, like, equate beauty and femininity, but I will just let her have that, whatever. But also, is that, like, a nod to Beauty and the Beast?
Probably. And also her name.
Right, because Feyre means beauty. But she did say a beauty. Oh, okay, yeah, right? The part where you're leaving, like, you know, I feel like, okay, the part where she's talking about Tamlin and, like, she's, like, imagining... I wrote she's imagining intimacy. Like, these are things that he might have shared with her and said, like, it's so nice to be here with you, blah, blah, blah. But instead she just, like, makes it all up in her head. And I'm sure maybe he is more well-rested and stuff like that. But I just think it's funny, like, a lot of this is sort of she's putting this on him, that he's, like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting, like, this is, like, part of where she's, like, coming to, like, be more... like enamored with him in these moments. But I just thought it was funny. It's like, he didn't tell her any of this, she's gathering it.
Yeah.
But for some reason it just felt like an interesting, like, you know, like when you see someone and you're like, you feel bad for them, and then they're like, don't feel bad, I don't need your pity. It felt like that.
It feels like infatuation.
Yes, true.
Where it's just like the High Lord, a position he hadn't wanted or expected, yet he'd been forced to bear its weight in the best he could. Like, he has kind of said that, but, like, one, he's not saying that here. Yeah. And so I feel like she's just taking these little bits of pieces and building up what he is, and being, yeah, you're right, like, enamored and infatuated, and it's not, it's inauthentic. Yeah. But I think it's also the ways in which people often describe their first loves. Like, well, I thought I was in love, but I think I was just kind of infatuated. Or I think
or if you really care about someone and you're like, oh, well, they're suffering so much, you're like more attentive, like,
yeah,
you know.
I do like that we're starting to get her. I think what we're supposed to get in this, aside from cringy moments with Tamlin, is that Feyre is feeling at home. Feyre is feeling safe. She's feeling open to being vulnerable, and she's finally feeling like she has her own identity.
Yes, so you're talking about the My Eyes line?
Yeah.
Yes.
That, like, Feyre has been given enough time to have some healing happen, that now she is able to make bad decisions.
Yep.
But there's some safety in that, right? Like, that she's starting to feel a sense of camaraderie, regardless of the sort of sexual tensions and romance that's there with Tamlin, fabricated or authentic. But there's camaraderie. There's, like, moments where they talk about being comfortable in the silence, right? That's important, right? One of the most, like, I don't know, significant things as a married person is that I can just sit in the room with my partner and not fucking talk to him at all, and it still feels like we're doing something together, even though we're not doing anything together, which I'm sure you know the feeling.
No, Caleb wishes that I would not talk so much. Just kidding.
He's like with his headphones.
Yep.
But yeah, and so I think that we're supposed to get this sense of, like, she's feeling safe, and safe enough to be herself, and to find out what that means a little, and to explore that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
thematically
she's
interesting.
young and she is innocent and like, she's naive and it's cute. Kinda.
Yeah. um, and then they get their little holding hands scene. Okay, I also thought, I know this is reading a little too much into it, but it still is something. I thought it was funny how he is surprised that she would have a boundary. I knew you asked
Wait,
Alice for a
where?
key. He
Oh.
says, I knew you asked Alice for a key. I didn't think you'd lock the room. He's like, I didn't know
I
you would
didn't
want
read it like
privacy.
that he's surprised she has a boundary.
That's what it seems like.
Like, wait, you really didn't want me to come in here? I mean, I wasn't going to because I don't really care, but like, you really, okay. Cool.
I was like,
I think
that's
it's
fitting.
supposed to feel playful for us. Like,
No, it did.
yeah, but that is a hilarious read.
Like, what is this? What
Like,
do you mean?
you can have. I didn't think you actually locked it. I'm gonna go into all the rooms if I want to, regardless. No, but I'm just
Yeah, we'll just tear the door to ribbons. Okay, the ribbons is one of those that always gets me. I'm like, oh, let's choose a different word. But,
at least she doesn't use ribbons to describe semen. There's lots of books that it comes out in ropes and ribbons. I keep a running list of words that I maybe don't want to use in my own writing, but like it's gonna happen. There's only so many ways you can describe like gushing, like then there was a small trickle of fertility. No, I'm just kidding.
Finding his pleasure. That's all we need to know. He found it.
Yeah. He growled and shook
no
mountains.
rotating to be described.
Yeah, I don't know how graphic I want things to be. Anyhow, everyone snoops in this house. Who the fuck snoops in that house?
Yeah, why is she saying that? Maybe it's like a flippant thing. You're just like, oh, you guys are nosy, but yeah. Like, I was like, dude,
you know 4 people in the house.
Alice is a fucking gossip. I had to laugh
at her. Right? Alice and that other girl that comes with her that never fucking says anything. She's a snooping bitch.
Yeah. She doesn't even understand there's a bunch more people in the house. Isn't there a bunch of people in the house?
Yeah, no, she doesn't understand any of that. Because at some point when the glamour is lifted, I'm pretty sure she's like, what is happening? Why are there so many humans? He's like, funny, they're Fae.
They've always been here. Yeah. And also she said something about wine, and I was like, did they get human wine for her? Because she definitely hasn't had Fae wine. Because the first time for that is at spring, summer solstice. Sorry. I think it's when she was feeling embarrassed.
Right, when she said something like,
she says maybe it was the wine from dinner. Oh yeah, it's in the middle of 204, like in the bottom third. He says, I know what it is. He murmured, studying the painting. I backed away a step, unable to bear watching him look at it, wishing I hadn't brought him in here, blaming it on the wine I'd had at dinner. So it must just be human wine. But I thought that was
that or it's
watered down, like for
children. Or like there's a certain way of making quote unquote fairy wine, and not just everything produced by fairies is fairy wine. Maybe
okay.
Like, does it follow the champagne rules, right? Like, if it's created in fairy, it's fairy wine, and you can't call anything else fairy wine because it's not created in fairy? Or is it like a very specific type where it's like Chardonnay?
Okay.
Because of the type of grapes, or, like... Can you tell that I was once in the food industry?
Oh, yeah.
Because I know far too much about wine.
Yeah, I don't know anything about wine. But anyway, this a little thing, but it just
so then it's a question, like, is it fairy wine because it's made by fairies, or is it fairy wine because it's a type of enchanted or type of higher alcohol something content versus a wine that is not created like that?
I kind of thought it was like, it was like wine. Maybe it's the food that, okay, Calanmai just happened. Maybe it's the food that's the grapes in Prithian are magical, and so producing wine with it makes fairy wine.
Yeah.
But
then
maybe
all wine produced in Prythian
would be Fey
would be
wine.
fairy wine. So I think that there's an assumption that she has wine that's not considered fairy wine, and then there's wine that is considered fairy wine that has the efficacious.
Or I think it's the only time it's mentioned. It could literally just be a slip up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
I
just
mean,
was
she
like,
does drink wine with dinner most of the time, though. So, like, who knows? Maybe he's getting human wine for her,
that's true.
or diluting it, or like, there's probably
That's
someone
what they
in
do for like peasant children in like
Yeah.
fantasy books.
Yes.
Like,
Or there's, a way to get wine that is not, imbued with whatever the fuck makes humans lose their shit. Or maybe she is drinking a little bit of fairy wine. There's just no music for her to go off to.
true. That's true. Yeah.
We get a mention of the Suriel again.
Yes, Suriel had said High Lords were power, which I think we did talk about that, but I just like it is a very interesting like. Oh, especially okay. Actually, the next chapter, but
I do find it interesting, right? The Suriel had said that the High Lords were power, and yet something had to be truly, thoroughly wrong if this was all that he could manage. How do you know? I mean, I get like the saying of like they are power seems like, okay, that's got to be a lot. But what if they are power is still limited? Like it has an indication that she knows more than what she should know.
like you mean like my theory about her being
Yes.
something like yeah.
Yes. But
Yeah.
again, it could just be like the myths and legends and cultures that she grew up with and all the things. But like, and then if someone was just like, they don't have power, they are power, and then you like see them like struggling to like, light a candle, I guess I'd be like, yeah, that's fucking weird. So, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
He this whole interaction is just like she puts this easel in the center of the room with this picture, which by the way is not a rendering. It's an impression of the
Yeah.
Glen.
A smear
So
of green and gold.
it's finger painting of the colors that are in the Glen. And she says, I hope he didn't notice the paintings that had leaned against the wall. And then immediately he walks in and looks at the paintings against the wall.
Yeah. Like you should have just hid them.
Also, I love that there's such real contextual evidence that she's a shitty artist.
A smear of green and gold, yeah.
I know they're strange, and I know they're not as good as the ones you have, but I wanted you to see this one.
Yeah.
Also, it's a gift for you, a gift for everything that you've done.
Yeah. What?
I wrote, what?
What's he done?
For fucking what?
I guess take care of her family.
For not killing her?
Yeah.
I mean, he gave her the paints and he's given her food and he gave her a safe place to live and he didn't kill her and like I get it.
Which to be fair is more than anyone else has done for her.
Yes, but I also think that it's revealing how low the bar is.
Yeah. And that's why Tamlin could clear it. Yeah. I mean, I also think that the being understanding of her art is kind of a nice moment and kind of overdone, like cliche. Like it's just like it's too easy of a metaphor of like I'm seeing the deeper you. This is the intimacy chapter and like but I do think it's interesting that he likes the snow thing and I kind of talked about this last week, but like to me, her previous antagonist was winter and spring is her answer but he's really truly like the winter in the scope of things, and so him choosing this is like kind of goes with that. That's part of where that sort of little mini theory sort of came from anyway, was because I was like, why does he choose the snow one? But also this interesting like it makes me not feel like I'm alone because you see it and he like sees the sad thing, but I still just there's something interesting about that. But overall the scene kind of and like it just feels so heavy-handed to be like him understanding your art type of
I think that this has a little bit of foreshadowing of where we're going to go.
Okay.
He chooses the picture that yes, he says, just like reminds me that I'm not alone, that someone else knows what I'm going through, blah blah blah. We'll get
Yeah.
to that passage because I got other thoughts for that. But he chooses the one that she says it's cold and melancholy. It doesn't suit this place at all. Doesn't it?
Well,
Tamlin, cold and
yeah.
melancholy.
Yeah.
Feyre, book 2, cold, melancholy. He picks the picture that is very much the essence of his manner.
Yeah. He knows himself.
Okay, I have a question about this.
Okay.
So, and maybe, so everyone keeps talking about how this is like Tamlin's burden. Tamlin's got to deal with it. Only Tamlin can do it. Only this, blah, 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 blah. I'm very confused by what the fuck that means. Because she essentially is leaving him alone for 49 years and then says, if you can't get this thing to happen, then I get you for forever. Is that his burden? What does it mean by he has to take care of this blight? He has to deal with this thing. It's his burden. He's the only one who could do it. He's not doing a fucking thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he just thinks he's High Lord, so he has to do it. Like, I think it's just delusion.
But Alice says this. There's a couple of other people who say, like, this is your, like, even Lucien is like, I waited around because I thought you were going to take care of us because you're the only one who can do this. This is your cross to bear. What does that mean? He's just chilling.
Just, I guess he's the only one who can beat the curse, I guess.
But then this conversation doesn't make sense, because if he's the only one that can beat the curse, and the only way to beat the curse is by actually having a human woman break the curse, then it's not your burden to bear, and is in fact Feyre's burden to bear.
Yeah, but he probably still sees it. He's like, I gotta get her to fall in love with me type. But yeah, I do think
this is really good foreshadowing, though, where he says, what I have to face, what I endure, Feyre, you would not survive. And like,
I wrote like, she didn't.
Yeah, I was like, so like, what does he have to endure? Amarantha? Yeah, no, she won't survive Amarantha. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, she does die.
Well, and also he makes it sound like, oh, I have a little obstacle. Like, this is maybe the rest of your existence is gonna be. It's not a little. It's, you know, like the way he talks about it. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I think also it's playing a little bit hard to get, because she wants to, right? She's like, tell me, is there some way I can help? And he's like, a human wishes to help a fairy. And she's like, don't tease me. And he's like, there's nothing you can do, or anyone. Like, this is my burden to bear. And I think it's a little bit of that, like, hard to get. The more you can't do something, or the more you can't have something, the more you want it. And so I think it's advantageous for him to keep her interested in helping him, even without, like, that keeps this going, right? That, like, cool, I've got her, she's sexually attracted to me, she's interested, so that's the start. Now we're building some of this relationship stuff. Now I've given her some of my, like, plight, right? What I'm going through. Now she wants to help, but I'm not going to let her, because that will continue to make her want to help me, which will continue to make her fall more in love with me because of the of being desperate to help him. But she wants to be like, she wants to help, and I think that if he was just like, yeah, all you have to do is, you know, like, say you love me, she'd be like, what the fuck?
He can't say that.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how much
smoother would have been like, you can just help me by being with me.
Yeah.
That's what you should say. If you need her to fall in love with you, you'd say something shit like that. But
yeah, just, or maybe being you.
Actually, maybe to him, like, love is protect. And so maybe that is an expression of love for Tamlin, because he's like, I'm gonna take care of it. You just sit and paint in your little house. And
he says exactly that. He says exactly that.
Yeah. But I'm just
this is so interesting to me, that, like, we hear this, and this sounds what I'm about to read. It sounds romantic. It sounds perfect. It's everything that Feyre wants and is begging for. It's all she wants out of life. And then when we get to the second book, it is her prison. When he says, right, didn't Calanmai teach you anything? Only that magic makes you into a brute, and he laughs. He says, "No, I don't want you to live somewhere else. I want you here so I can look after you, so I can come home and know that you're here, painting and safe." And that sounds amazing to someone who is always in danger and always taking care of her family, and all she wants to fucking do is sit and be with her dad and paint. This
Yeah.
sounds absolutely magical, perfect guy, top tier, all the things. And then you read between the lines. I want to come home
Uh-huh. Where I can
and
look
know
up.
that you're here,
Yeah.
safe and painting.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do, babe.
And also, okay, I still think this is actually Tamlin is kind of already the wrong person for her, even in this moment, like where she's supposed to be having her actual fall in love moment with him, because she doesn't actually respond positively to that when he says that. I don't know if she ever does. I mean, maybe when he says like, "Hasn't anyone taken care of you?" I don't remember, but here, like if you look at it, she just says, "I couldn't look away from him," and then she's like talking about what she's talking about, but like she never says like, "Wow, what a nice thing." And
Yeah.
I also, so a little bit above that, I was thinking like she says, "Let me help." Also, I think
Mhm.
it's funny that, he shows intimacy in accepting her. I want this thing that you've created where you've shown your sad part of your life. I want it nonetheless. And then her response to that intimacy is to offer her help. And I'm like, that is like an eldest, well, she's not an eldest child, but it's very eldest daughter to be like, I'm here to help. My part in the
Mhm.
family is to help. And like that's what she did. In my head, I'm go, she's actually just been a high lady of the Archeron cottage. She's just been high
Yeah.
lady shit for a long time. Um and so I just thought it was interesting the way that she's like, Ma, okay, so now that you've accepted me, I help you. And now how
Yeah.
can I help you? And then he says, I don't want you to help. And then her response is, so I'm to live here forever in ignorance of the true scope of what's happening. If you don't want me to understand what's going on, would you rather I find some place else to live? Like she doesn't even want from even in this moment, she doesn't want to live in ignorance. She doesn't want to be like a secondhand.
Yep.
I always thought that she sort of discovers this, because her interactions with Reese and because of later. But no,
Mhm.
already she's like, I don't want to live a life where I don't get to be part of the things. Which
Or
I did
she
not realize that
or
she's
she's at the
under this.
she's at the very least
Yeah,
wondering why he wants her there if he wants her to stay ignorant.
yeah,
At the very least, she's like, "You want me to live here and not know the true scope of
and
everything?
not like yeah, and
You just
I just thought
should
it
I
was
just
interesting.
go? Because I'm not useful."
Yeah, well, and
She doesn't know how
yeah,
yeah,
she
she's not
only sees
helpful.
herself as what she can offer people, which is yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's yeah. And so I think that part of that in him saying like, "No, I thought about sending you away, but I couldn't. Like I want you here. I want to be able to come home and know that you're safe and you're painting." And like I think that's supposed to speak to that like you don't your worth is not in what you can offer, Feyre. I just want you.
yes, and that
But it's
yeah.
limiting still. It's limiting in a different way, right? And
Hmm.
it's I feel like sometimes it's limiting in a worse way than what her family did. Like her family relied on her and never thanked her,
Hmm.
but
But gave her
they
purpose.
gave her purpose and she was strong as fuck
Hmm.
and she did what she had to do and like yes, it was a thankless job, but she still had even if it was bare minimum, she still had a purpose.
And
And then
agency.
Agency, yeah. And then Tamlin comes along and he goes, "You're safe now," which is great, "but you don't need to be strong." And she's like, "Well, I wasn't strong out of necessity. I am strong." He's like,
Yeah.
"But you don't need to be." And she's like, "Okay, well, now that's a personality trait that I can't get rid of. Cool, thank you. And all you need to do is paint." And she's like, "Yeah, that's great, except for I've also seen the world a little bit more and like painting's fun and all, but
It's not the only thing
not
I want to do.
the only thing ever.
Yeah.
And the world still needs healing and I can be useful." And he's like, "Well, but you don't need to be useful." And I think that there's a space between like useful as like something that's negative versus something that's positive, right? Like we
Hmm.
want to be needed, but we also want that usefulness to be appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I think that that's the problem is that like her family takes advantage of the usefulness
Hmm.
and as like an antithesis of what the family is as a way for us to fall in love with Tamlin as being the opposite of this person who takes and takes and takes.
Yeah.
It's you don't need to do any of that. Just just be pretty. Which sounds
Yeah.
lovely when you've been fighting for your life and the life of your family.
Yeah.
That sounds great. I would, as a stay-at-home mom and a quote kept woman right now, it sounds, there's parts of it that I like feel weird talking about and being like, but yeah, at the same time, if I was just being told like, you don't have to do anything. You don't
Yeah.
at all.
But you are working, to be fair. But yes. Yeah.
Sure. But also, like, it's a weird balance between, like, someone telling me that I have to do the things,
Yeah.
right? Or knowing I have to, like, I have two small children that I literally have to keep alive,
Hmm.
right? If those were two grown humans who could very much keep themselves alive and I was still doing all this shit, I'd be real pissed. So I get it.
Hmm.
But at the same time, the thought of being in this house and just having, like, servants and not being useful at all would be devastating, and
Yeah.
I'm not out hunting for my family.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I also think that Feyre already is a high lady type
Yeah,
thing, so I think
she is the
maybe
archetype, or she has the personality type
mhm,
that works
she's
for
a
yeah.
problem solver. I mean, maybe like it was supposedly the magic is choosing high lords and high ladies. So
Yeah,
maybe the magic was like you're about, fate knows that you're gonna end this way, and
yeah,
maybe that's why her instincts are like to go and hunt. Maybe that's why even though she's youngest, she's the one who like you know feels
yeah,
the pressure.
yeah, very much so.
But yeah, I jokingly along that line of thought, I was like, um, actually, the next part he goes, part of me still thinks I should have found somewhere else for you to live. Maybe I was selfish, even when you made it so clear that you were more interested in ignoring the treaty or finding a way out. I couldn't bring myself to let you go to find some place in Prythian where you'd be comfortable enough not to attempt to flee. Um,
You mean the Night Court? You mean Valeris, that she'd be so
mhm.
comfortable in Valeris that she wouldn't want to run away? Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking like it almost feels like Tamlin is subduing those parts of her that are high lady. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like he's like subconsciously recognizing and wanting to like say, "Hey, you keep a lid on that."
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. It's like really far out there, but it's kind of like I don't know. It's interesting that he would think that
I
you want you
think
to stay here.
that if we're supposed to be thinking of Tamlin as this like archetype possessive controlling boyfriend, I
Yeah.
think some of the stuff that you're saying, like where he's like already trying to kind of suppress her her high lady energy or like subdue her, I think that shit happens on an unconscious level.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like he
don't
doesn't
think that
realize
he's
what he's
out
doing.
here being like, "I need you to break a curse, but also keep your shit in line." Like, I don't think that it's a conscious decision to be like, "I need you to do this specific thing, but like also follow my fucking orders." Like, yes, that's what he's saying, but I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think that he's seeing a strength in her that subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever, he's trying to temper a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and I actually, now that you're saying this, he is kind of saying that because he says, I've had many lovers, females never birth, warriors, princesses, but they never understood what it's like for me to care for my people, for my lands. Actually, maybe that's why I was seeing that because it seems like he's saying you understand what it takes to care for a people and care for a lands,
Yeah.
like which is high lady shit, right? And
Yeah.
but it's interesting because like it's almost like he could easily just think the reason that he thinks that women should just like it's like he doesn't see women as like people, like it's because of his misogyny that he's like, oh well, but you're just supposed to, I need to just keep you here. Like I feel like that could be a
Mm.
good like the subconscious reason that he would even
I
consider.
Yeah, I've never really thought about Tamlin as like a actual misogynist.
No, just in a way that fucking
But
old school
cultural
Republicans are.
misogyny just
Yeah.
kind of trickling in. Interesting. I have I have a kicker of a question.
Okay.
First off, I have like my own theories and like psychology of like telling her that you want her here and then being like, I've had many lovers, but I like you. Like there's a weird
Yeah.
like
And it
thing.
works,
It
she gets
absolutely
pissed.
works. Yep, it absolutely works. And someone being like, "Oh, like I'm the popular boy and I could have any girl here, but I chose you." It's kind of what's happening. There's a little manipulative thing happening. But
Yeah.
I don't that's not what I'm concerned about. Okay. I've had many lovers, females of noble birth. Okay, fine. Warriors. Was Rhys's sister not Illyrian?
Oh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
You'd always to be a princess and noble birth.
Okay, so a warrior. This could be a nod to Rhys's sister because she's half Illyrian.
Yes.
Okay, but also Amarantha's a warrior. She fought in the war. She was part of Hybern. She be fucking shit up. Okay, so who are we talking about? And this is my fucking question. Tamlin, how are you fucking princesses when there's no kings and queens in this world?
Because he's fucking the current princess of Adarlan.
I'm saying there's no king. Hybern, he's a king?
Yeah, he is.
So the only way that you're fucking a princess is if it's a Hybern princess. Or from the main continent, because no one in Prythian is a king or a queen, and if you're not a king or a queen, you cannot have a princess.
Yeah, maybe he is just...
Who is he fucking?
Yeah, that's really funny. Because, yeah.
500 years old.
I didn't even think about the fact that there
When did he fuck a princess?
He went to
the mainland.
The Doranel princess.
I'm just saying, it's an interesting word choice when we don't have any references to kings and queens except for enemies and ancient.
Yeah, that is so funny. Damn, girl.
New theories. And the warrior one, like, okay, great, fine, he's a warrior, but like, we have two really good candidates for who he could be specifically talking about.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, this part of the conversation was the most interesting. Yeah. Because, yeah, it just is interesting, the stuff that Feyre is, like, realizing and not realizing.
So next week we'll do chapter 23. It's a very short chapter. Maybe we'll do 23 and 24 together. We'll see how they fit, how long they talk, because the whole, like, we could do 2 chapters together. They're short, and it's like, 2 hours of recording.
Well, 4 pages. I was like, that's particularly short. Plus, I didn't really have much to say about any of the first parts. Like, I had, like, little notes that were not very substantive. It was like, empty and aching, ? Tried to forget, sniffing. Yeah. They were like, I usually have much more, like, interesting notes. I think 24 is the summer solstice. Oh, no. 24 is the head getting delivered to the spring court. 25 is the solstice. 26 is Rhys's meeting.
Nice. Okay.
And then she goes back.
So 23 and 24 should work well together then.
Okay.
Yeah. So next week we'll try for 23 and 24. There's some Lucien theories on this first page of chapter 23, so I'm excited to start off with that next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that 22 ends with, I didn't lock my bedroom door that night, and 23 starts with, I was laying on my back.
She's still not getting laid, though. She's got quite a while till she gets some of that. Although
it's probably just like a couple weeks, actually, right?
Yeah, because
there's not very much time that's passed. She's basically done being at the spring court even now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we have chapter 28 is when she leaves.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, no, we only have okay, so she's getting laid soon.
Yeah, but it's just like, it is weird. She's probably like a week away or 2 weeks away from like going home.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was a lovely chapter.
Yes. Yeah, better than I thought it was going to be. That's good.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next 2 chapters. I think the next 2 chapters will go well together because we'll get, it's kind of a juxtaposition, right? Because we'll get the like cute kissy scene and then immediately we get a severed head.
True. It'll be a nice contrast. Yeah.
All right. Well, I will see you next week.
Okay. See you then.